guys, so welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing 4 easy appetizer recipes. So we're just going to jump right on in. I'm starting out with baked artichoke dip. So here I'm just chopping up some artichokes that were in a can. You do want to go ahead and chop them so you're not getting big chunks of artichokes when you dip your cracker. So the recipe is 1 block of cream cheese, 1 cup of Parmesan cheese, 1 cup of shredded cheddar cheese. I ended up using mild, I believe. 1 cup of chopped onion, just like any sort of diced onion. I did end up using a green onion and it turned out just fine. 1 cup of mayo and then 1 can of drained artichokes chopped. So I'm just gonna put all this together and then I will cover it and put it in the fridge until I'm ready to bake it. So I have been trying to use my big chef knife just for like daily cutting things, but my hands are so small and the knife is so big. I have definitely been struggling. So if you guys have any recommendations on any certain knives that are not like astronomically priced, please let me know. I know that Jen Chapin and a couple more YouTube people that I watched, they have the Meason one, but I'm really not looking to spend that much money on a knife. So if you guys have any suggestions of a good one that is not overly priced, that is shorter, please let me know. So I kind of felt like this mixture was just a little bit too thick, so I wanted to add just a little bit of milk to thin it out just a little bit, and I don't really have any measurements for it. I think I probably ended up adding maybe 2 tablespoons of milk, but you just kind of have to eyeball it and see what you feel. But I'm glad that I did add the milk because it did make it more of a creamy consistency. So if you are an experienced cook, then I would definitely suggest adding some milk. So now I have just added everything together in this bowl. I'm just gonna mix it really well, and then I will transfer it to a baking safe dish and top it with a little bit of cheese and parsley to make it pretty, and then put the lid on and stick it in the fridge until I'm ready to bake. And you will bake this covered with aluminum foil at 350 for 40 minutes. So next we're gonna get started on the cheese dip. This is just a basic cheese dip recipe. So I'm actually using crockpot liners today because I had a lot going on and I did not want to spend all of my time washing dishes after the party was over. This was actually for my son's birthday party. So I'm using a crockpot liner, and the recipe is 1 pound of sausage, 1 can of rotel, and 1 block of velveeta cheese. I also used about a cup of milk, and I would not recommend using milk if you do not want a thinner consistency because it did thin it out quite a bit. I might cut back to half a cup next time, but anyway, I'm basically just using the block of velveeta, and you saw that I was using the Great Value brand, and let me tell you, it is $3 cheaper and it is just as good. So if you are on a budget or just looking to save money, I would definitely suggest using the Great Value. It's called the Melt and Dip is what you have to search it for, like on the grocery app, but it is definitely just as good as velveeta. So I'm just cutting those up into smaller chunks and putting it in the bottom of the crock pot, and then I will just layer the rotel on top. Something to note about the rotel. Rotel is one thing that I will not budge on. You need the name brand, because I have found that the off-brand has like hard pieces in it. I think it's probably like the stems or something, I don't know, but the tomatoes themselves are a lot thicker and chewier. So anyway, I would definitely recommend sticking with the rotel brand. So I'm just gonna pop a top on that and let it cook until it's done. So now we're just gonna move on to bacon wrapped little Smokies. This is not meant to be a healthy video whatsoever. We've had a hard year, and honestly, we only eat like this whenever we have get-togethers. So I am just starting out by cutting up a pound of bacon. I'm just gonna cut it into thirds. This is the best way that I have found. If you cut it halfway, the bacon pieces are too long for the Smokies. If you cut it more than that, they are too small. So cutting them into thirds, and basically you're just gonna take your little Smokies, you're gonna wrap the bacon around and secure it with a toothpick. And I'll show you how I do it in this next clip here. So that is what I'm doing here. This is such a crowd pleaser, and it is so, so good. You guys should definitely try it. I don't know what is, so good about this combination, but it is really, really good. Also, I did get the family pack of the little Smokies because that is what was available to me. If you do not have the family pack, go ahead and get 2 packs of the regular Smokies. It's 1 pound to 2 packs of Smokies, just if you needed to know. So before we get started on the glaze for the Smokies, I'm gonna go ahead and jump over to the meatballs. So I'm just using a regular size bag of the home style meatballs from Walmart. These are really good. You don't need to get name brand for this either. So I'm just dumping those in the bottom of a crock pot Once again, using a liner. I highly suggest these liners if you are not wanting to clean up a whole lot after parties. And then I'm just using a jar of chili sauce. I'm gonna get out as much as I possibly can. And then I'm gonna fill up the bottom, maybe just like an inch or so with water, and shake it up and make sure that I get all of that chili sauce out of there. I do this with all of the canned stuff that I have, spaghetti sauce, chili sauce, whatever. And then also I'm gonna add an entire jar of grape jelly. I feel like maybe you could get away with half a jar if you're not wanting it so sweet, but if you do like the sweet, definitely add the entire jar. So after I get all that on there, I'm not gonna try to mix it or anything. It doesn't do you any good. The jelly has to kind of melt down and then you can mix it up, but I'm just gonna pop a top on it. And then we'll jump back over and get started on the glaze. So I am taking about 3/4 a stick of butter. I was gonna cut it because it's actually supposed to be a half a stick of butter, but I just wasn't in the mood for it. So use that butter, melted it down. I'm just putting, I think I ended up doing like 4 tablespoons of brown sugar. I just kind of had to look at the consistency and wait until it got to where I wanted. And you're just gonna wait until that sugar melts. So once this mixture gets to almost a caramel consistency, you'll just take it off the heat and then put it over the top of your Smokies, and just get as much on the Smokies as you possibly can. This is such a good glaze for these. Do not skip out on this, I promise. It's well worth it. And then you're just going to bake it in the oven at 400 for about 25 minutes. Now I'm gonna get started on the punch. This is just a super easy standard punch recipe. It is 1 can of pineapple juice. I always use the real pineapple. And then you can use Sprite, ginger ale, Twist Up. I ended up using Twist Up because it's cheaper. And then half a thing of the Hawaiian punch. I have used the entire thing in the past, but I find that it is too juicy, if that makes sense, if you use the whole thing. So I just kind of cut back to half of the container. So that is it for this video. Here is everything as it turned out. Everything turned out so good, and the only leftovers that I had was the meatballs. So if you need some ideas, I hope that this video gave you some ideas for party recipes. Super easy. It's stuff to just throw in a crock pot, just throw it in the oven. Super easy. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please subscribe. Other than that, I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.